Hey everyone, it's the Tides Changing here, and welcome to part 10 of Let's Build a Mediterranean House. Today we'll just continue with the interior, and first what I did was I changed some of the things that I did in the last part because I wasn't completely happy. I also got rid of those by debug lights there because a few of you have commented that you don't like them, so I'm going to try not to use them, but I will use them at some points. I am going to need to use them in some parts, such as on the stairs and in the garage and probably in the living room. So yeah, but I'll try my best not to use them. I'm guessing that you guys don't like them just because they're a little bit annoying to look at. But anyway, what I'm doing here is, like I said in the last part, I wanted to take out the plant that I had in the corner and put a table and a mirror and some stuff on the table, just because I felt like that would be something nicer to look back at the end of the hallway. So I have that nice end table from Supernatural, which is just perfect for this type of thing, and I'm changing the mirror to that one there, which was from Master Suite stuff. And now I'm just putting some things on top of that table there. I initially put those pails under there just because I thought it would look cute, but then it didn't look as good as I thought it did, so I got rid of it, and then I put that little flower on there, and I changed the color of it to match that green color, I guess from the color scheme that I put out there. And the next thing that I did was I put this thing here, which was, I guess, just like a little basket with a flower in it, but it was too big for that end table, so as you can see, it kind of hung over. So then I put this thing, which looks like a tea pitcher, or I guess a pitcher with flowers in it, and then I put that little basket thing under there, just because I thought it would add a nice realistic touch to have decorations underneath of the table. And I also put that picture frame in there as well, just because, I figured it'd be nice to have a picture right there. And I tried putting a phone there, but the phone didn't really look that good. I had some trouble trying to figure out what to put on that table other than that picture, and I also wanted to put a standing lamp in that corner there to add some extra light. So I looked around a bit trying to find one that I thought would fit perfectly in there, and I ended up going with this one. No, not that one. Well, I went through quite a few lights. I had trouble finding one that I thought would fit that area. But I ended up going with this one right here, which has a really nice look. It has kind of an old-fashioned look, so I thought that that was perfect for it. And I also experimented with changing the color, but I kind of like the older wood color that I had before. I just thought it looked a lot better. And now I'm just moving the light around, trying to get the best lighting for that area. Once again, I'm trying to figure out what else I want on that table there, because I knew I wanted that picture with the flower in it, but everything else I kind of wasn't sure of, so I ended up going with the picture frame and a thing of tissues. And I was trying to see if it looked better without the basket, but I thought that the basket was a nice touch under there. And I got rid of that light there as well. I left that one behind. Next, I moved on to redoing the laundry room just because I wasn't exactly happy with how it looks. Like, I don't like the colors. They're just kind of boring and plain, and also I'm not really sure how I feel about those counters. So I'm upgrading the counters a bit to the next expensive ones, which are these ones right here. So now I'm just sticking those around and then putting the items back on it. So I think those counters look a little bit better. They're a slight bit more modern, but they're still pretty cheap because, I'm trying to keep this house as reasonably priced as I can. And I also wanted to change the color of the walls because I didn't like that blue that I picked out, and it and the beige, I didn't really like how they went together, and also the rug was a little bit too plain, so I'm changing that to be a blue. And as you can see there, I made the walls a little bit darker. Now I'm just changing the plain walls to be a blue color as well, so they aren't so it goes better together. And now I'm lighting them up because I didn't like how dark they were, and trying to change the color of those a little bit. So I made the crown molding on those white as well, so they weren't that ugly off yellow color. And I ended up just making that patterned wall a plain blue color, but a darker one, just so that wall's a little bit different. So that's what I changed the walls to, and I think that looks a little bit better. And I also changed the floor to the one in the bathroom because I felt like I wanted the floor to be a little bit brighter. And now I'm just changing the counters to be pretty much the same color, except I changed the cabinet part to just a plain white. And I think that looks better. I definitely like it more. And now I'm just making the shelves that same brown color, as you can see. And I also changed the washing machine to be the same bright white color, not the ugly off-white. I don't really like off-white. I'm more of a bright white kind of a person. And now I'm just changing the shelves to be white so it's not too much wood. So that is the redone laundry room, and I definitely think it looks a lot better. The next thing that I did was put a few more lights into that hallway area since I took out that buy a debug light, so I felt like I needed something else in there to brighten that up. So I just stuck another one of those hanging lights further down the hallway, and after doing that, I wanted to put a hanging wall lamp on the stair area right there. So I just stuck this one right here. It's a simple, I guess, fancier looking one. And now that that's done, I moved on to the study area. So I wanted to have that whole wall just be bookshelves, and your Sims should be able to access them. I didn't stick anything right in front of them, and now I'm just sticking a desk right there. So I feel like it would be kind of nice, have a desk situated right in front of the bookshelf. So I have that, and I'm putting a desk lamp and some folders, make it look like a desk work is being done at. And I also put some curtains in there, and now I'm adding a chess table since I felt like a chess table would be good for it. And what I'm doing is just kind of putting in the furniture first, and then after I put in all the furniture that I want in the room, then I'm going to change the colors to be what I want. So it's going to look pretty bad up until I do that. So there I have the chess table and chairs to go with it, and now I'm putting that, I guess it's supposed to be a bear rug or whatever it is, under that desk. And I also wanted to put a reading chair in that corner there, so I was trying to, go through a few different chairs to try and figure out which one I wanted to use. So I tried those, but I didn't really like them. And then I looked through more, and I ended up going this one, which was the same kind of chair that I used out in that hallway there. I just really like it. I think it's a really pretty looking chair. So I initially tried having 2 of them in there, and I used that same lamp that I used out there just because I really like that lamp. I think it's definitely a very pretty lamp. And I also wanted to put a painting up on that wall there, so I initially went with this one right here, which I guess is supposed to be like a picture collage. And I was also trying to see about putting a plant there, but it didn't really work. And now I just reduced it down to the 1 chair just because I felt like 2 chairs was too much. And this way I can have a diagonal in the corner, which I guess looks a little bit nicer, and just moving the lamp around so it gives the best lighting, and putting a little painting up there. I didn't want to do anything too big because I don't want it to be too busy since it has that other painting on the wall over there. And a little plant next to the chair. And I also want to put just a small circular rug in there. I was thinking about changing those chairs that I use there just because I'm not exactly sure that I like them, but I didn't do that yet. And now I'm going to choose the wood pattern that I want to use because I don't really like the color that those shelves have. So I lightened it up a bit, and now I'm just putting it on the desk just to make it all match. And changing the color of that, I guess, tray. I changed it to a purple originally because I set up a new color scheme out there. I just cut that out just because, it's just me typing in hex codes. But I didn't really like that color scheme. And the thing I've noticed is that when I find the color schemes, I type in the hex codes, and they look different in the game. Like, they just look kind of silly in the game. So after playing around with that a bit, I kind of just decided to just stop bothering with the color schemes just because they end up looking worse in the game than they do, when you see them online. So yeah, I just kind of stopped using the color schemes because that color looked a lot better online, but when I get into the game, it's just a bright pink. So, I think from now on, I'm just going to kind of go back to just using colors that I feel are good. And I guess looking at color schemes kind of, gave me a better idea of different colors I go to rather than just making rooms different shades of the same color. For example, I made that chair there in the corner orange instead of making it a lighter blue color. And now I'm just changing those chairs to the ones that I put out earlier just because I think those are very pretty chairs, and I think they look a lot better than the ones that I had there. They're just a lot more interesting, and they have a really nice old-fashioned look to them. And now I'm changing the color of those frames there to be the same kind of wood but a little bit darker just so it's not the exact same thing. And then I put a little painting up there, and now I'm just changing the frame of it just because I wanted something over the chessboard, and now I'm putting a rug underneath of it and just changing it to be blue with the white border around it. Just I thought it'd be nice to have a rug under there. And then I tried putting a second chair in like that next to the lamp. And here I just wanted to put something next to the desk, just like I felt like there needed to be something else near that desk right there. So I was kind of playing around with putting some decorations like some plants, but I had trouble figuring out what to put there. Now I'm moving on to doing the walls. So I wanted to make this the accent wall. I wanted to make it a little bit different than the rest of the walls. So I put this stripe pattern right here that you see, and initially the pattern's brown, but I was trying to change it to a different color. So I tried changing it to blue like you can see here. So that's the same kind of blue that's on some other things in this room. I was just trying to get the color right. So it's kind of a darker blue with a lighter blue pinstriping. And then I tried changing it to the purpley blue that is on the curtains there, but that was a little bit too dark, and I made the walls there beige and put that all the way around. But I felt like the light beige and the dark blue contrasted too much, so I tried lightening that color, but it lightened to a strange purple color. So then I made it a blue that was a bit lighter, and then, experimented changing the wall to the similar shade of orange to the chairs, and just made it a more orangey beige color, but that still just contrasted too much. Like, I felt like it would look better if it was kind of colors that were similar, so then I tried changing that pinstriping pattern to be more of a beige, but I didn't really like that either. I was definitely very indecisive when it came to decorating the study. Like, I just had a hard time feeling like I could get the colors right and that it had enough items in it, but not too much. I experimented with putting that plant in front of the bookshelves, but I realized that, that would kind of make the bookshelves unusable. So I didn't want to do that, and I also tried taking away one of the chairs from the chessboard, but that didn't really look that good. So what I ended up doing here was just getting rid of both the two rugs I had there before and just putting one large rug back in that area. And I also want to change that painting that I had back there to something else other than what was there, so I changed it to this one right here from Seasons, and I really like this painting. I use it a lot in my houses. I just think it's really pretty. So now I'm just changing the color to match, some other things in the room. And now I'm just looking out over that study area. I was kind of trying to see if it would look better to have the by debug lights, but I realized I didn't really need it. So to make it brighter for the bookshelves, I tried putting those recessed lights in, but I didn't really like how that looked, so I ended up taking them out. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I can do to make the study look better, because at this point I'm not really that happy with how it looks. So I was trying to experiment with moving the desk closer to the bookshelves, and I put a trash can next to the desk just because, I thought that was something you would see in an office, a desk with a trash can right next to it. So I put that in there and used the same wood but made it darker. And I think that's a nice touch. And now I'm revisiting the wallpaper because I really don't like how it looks, so I'm just making it a blue color again because I feel like that's what looks best on the stripe part. And also blue is probably my favorite color, especially this kind of blue that you see in here. That's why I use it a lot. So I changed the wall to be a similar blue color, and I think it looks a lot better. Now I'm just changing those curtains to be orange, since orange and blue are actually, I believe, complementary colors. And these colors go together pretty well, so I like how that looks. It looks a lot better with it being blue instead of beige. And now I'm just putting some more wall hangings in the room just to decorate the wall. So I have that one there, which looks kind of like some sort of diploma. I thought that would be good for a study. So now the study is done, and I'm going to move on to the kitchen. I just put that tile down there because I didn't want to have wood floors in the kitchen. I felt like it would look better for it to be something different, so I put down this kind of square tile in here, and I'm just trying to make it a brown color that looks nicer. So I was trying to make it be similar to the color of the wood, the same type of color but a lighter shade. So that is what I ended up going with, and I like how that looks. I think it kind of blends in well with the wood. And I'm going to be using the Mediterranean kitchen set from the store in this house, just because I got that when it was free during that whole, Christmas item a day giveaway thing, where they had a free set every day. And I'm also going to put the wood-burning oven from Monte Vista in. Unfortunately, the Mediterranean kitchen set is one of the more expensive kitchen sets, but I had to use it. It fits in perfectly with what I wanted. It's just unfortunate that the counters are the most expensive, and also the refrigerator and stove are more on the expensive end, but I'm going to have to make up for it by using some of the cheaper furnishings in the rest house, but I will make sure it looks good though. So now I'm just trying to change the wood colors around because I don't really like the reddish wood. I want it to be more of a neutral kind of wood, to match the floor. So that's what I did. Now I'm just changing everything. And I didn't really like the color of the stove, so I spent a bit of time trying to figure out what to change it to. I tried making the stove wood, but that did not look good. Who has a wood stove? So I just ended up going back with what it was, because, I couldn't really figure out anything better. And then I tried doing some other things to it, but yeah, I just kind of left it, figured I'd come back to it. And then I ended up making it the same color as the wood burning stove, so it matched that. And there was no cabinets came with the Mediterranean kitchen set, so I just used the cheaper overhead cabinets, to cut costs. Since, I wasn't trying to make this house too expensive, but the kitchen ended up being pretty expensive. So I don't know how I'm going to do with trying to keep it under $300. I hope I can, but I was hoping to keep it around $250,000, but because of this kitchen being more expensive, that's not going to happen. I did run into some issues with putting the overhead cabinets in. Like, for some reason it said can't do that, but then when I put it next to the stove and then went over that way, it was fine. So yeah, I like how those overhead cabinets look in there. They match pretty well. The only thing is that the knobs on them are gold, and then on the cabinets they're silver, but I guess that's not that big of a deal. And then I just put that little pan knick-knack thing on the wall there as a nice detail. And now I just put that little bread box in there, and now I'm just changing the color of it, and I think that's a really cute decoration for the kitchen. I went a little more old-fashioned with this kitchen than I usually do because, normally my kitchens are a little bit more on the modern side, so it was definitely nice to do something a little bit different. And now I'm just setting up the island for the kitchen, as you can see here. I did want to change the color of the counters though, because I felt like that gray color I had them didn't really go that well, so I just made them a brown color to kind of go better with the floor. So I'm just changing the color of all the counters and then changing the color of the island counters as well. So I just had to kind of wrap around like that, and I definitely think it's a pretty nice touch to have an island in there. And then I just put a regular counter in there, and now I'm putting some half walls around it, and that's going to be where the kitchen sink is. I'm not sure how I like this though. I'm thinking I may just put all counters on the one side, where the sink is, and just take out, not have the island wrap around like that. If that makes any sense. I'm going to try experimenting with that next time because it may look a little bit better. And then I just want to put a wall decoration over there, and now I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do for the curtain. So I had that one up there originally, but it looks like it's going part of the way into the counter. So I changed it to that one, which I think looks a little bit better. And next I added the sink into the island, like I said I was going to. So I just thought it'd be interesting to have the sink in there instead of, on the counters like it normally is. And I'm just kind of going through the decorations a little bit, and I found that one there which has some grapes on it, which fits in with the whole vineyard theme. So I just changed that one I had there to that one. And now I'm trying to figure out where the oven hood that came with the kitchen is. So it wasn't really with the normal cabinets, but it was in lights, so there it is. And I really like that oven hood. I definitely think it is very pretty. So I hope you guys also don't mind this part being a little bit longer than they usually are. I kind of went overboard and recorded more than I meant to, but this is about all that was done, other than me playing around the lights like I am here. So yeah, hopefully you guys don't mind this part being a little bit longer, but I stopped here because I didn't want to make it too long. But next time I will continue working on the kitchen. We'll hopefully finish it, as well as the dining room and possibly the living room. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. The next part will be up on Tuesday. Thanks for watching, and bye!